Good day, everyone. I am Decadent Myrtle, and I will be starting this report of Group 7 with regards to chart number 1 of the United States of America nautical chart symbols and abbreviation from section pages A to I. So, this lesson this topic that I'll be teaching, it is under our MTEC102. Scheduled on TTH 1330H to 1500H, and my group mates are Decadet Mancao, Glenn Lloyd, and Decadet Yaban Redeem. So, the intended learning outcomes will be to understand the description of the different chart symbols and abbreviations used in nautical charts from sections A to I. The second is to familiarize the different chart symbols and see how it varies on the ECDIS, NOAA, NGA, and the internationals. So the second learning outcome, it will be limited only to the section A, because I will be sticking to the source that our instructor has given to us. So, the coastline, or the nature of the coast. So first, we must understand that for all navigators using paper nautical charts specified by the IHO, or the International Hydrographic Organization, it is integral to understand the chart symbols and the chart abbreviations, because all these things are found in the nautical chart, and especially in passage planning, we must understand what these symbols are and what these abbreviations are, so that we can attain a safe and efficient voyage that we ought and we desire on having. Because if we do not understand these symbols and these abbreviations on a nautical chart that we are plotting our passage onto, we might bring our ship or our vessel into danger. And it is important also that we know these symbols and abbreviations, because these can be aids to navigation that will benefit our voyage, or we could avoid these symbols because they bring hazard and danger to our vessel. So, chart symbols and abbreviations, this is a detailed guide of all symbols and abbreviations used on nautical charts specified by the IHO, again, by the International Hydrographic Organization, where there are international abbreviations and supplementary symbols and national symbols used by the United States and the UK Hydrographic Office. So we shall begin with the coastline, so the nature of the coast. So these are the different coastlines. So first one here under the INT. So this is a coastline which is surveyed. So surveyed meaning surveyors went through this and it has been checked and scrutinized. So this is really the form of the coastline. Then here we have the coastline unsurveyed, which hasn't been examined or checked by surveyors. Then here, the number 3, we have the cliffs and the steep coast. So this one is the cliff. We see here lines. Then here we have the steep coast. It doesn't have like a straight line which connects all of them like the cliffs. Then we have here the hill locks. So it's like a sun with many rays. It is hollow in the center. Then we have a flat coast. So similar to the coastline, but it's somewhat flat or straightened. Then we have here sandy shore. It is like a flat coast but with dots. Then we have here stony shore and shingly shore. So we have here stony shore with all those bold dots. Then we have here sandhills and dunes. So here's what I was talking about. So in the NOAA, so it would vary from the INT, or in the one the nautical charts, and also here in the ECDIS. So steep coasts or cliffs, somewhat similar to the INT. So it's just thicker and more bold. Here, cliffs and steep coasts. Then hill locks, it's much more darker, more bold than here, sandy shore. Then stony shore, you can see here many dots, many circles. And then sandhills and dunes. Here in the ACDIS, this is the coastline which is surveyed. This is the coastline or shoreline which is of low accuracy and precision, meaning it is unsurveyed or hasn't been checked thoroughly. The presence of cliffs coincident with coastline is obtained by cursor pick here. Then we have here stopping ground crestline distant from coastline radar or visually conspicuous. So cliff as an area. So this is cliff as an area in the ACDIS. Then here we have hillocks or mountaintop in the ACDIS. So these will be the symbols you can see on the ACDIS. So this is from a different source that Sir has given to us, but I just used it so that we can have an idea on what we can see on the ACDIS. So next, so this is a flat coast, the cliffy coast, shoreline, the rocky coast. So we went through that already. Then this is chart sounding datum line uncovers approximate sounding datum line here. Then we have here sand and gravel. So like I was talking about. So if you would know the chart symbols and abbreviations, you would understand that this part is sand and gravel, which you must avoid at all times so that your vessel won't aground. Then we have here a coral. So it's like similar to sand and gravel, but it has these somewhat like edges, round edges. Then we have here the breakers along a shore. So breakers, so that the waves won't hit that hard on the shore. So these are water breakers. Next, sandhills and dunes. We went through that already. Stony and shingly shore. Here we have sandy shore. We have small dots on the area. We have sand here. That's what sand looks like. So sand and gravel somewhat similar. Also mud. The only difference is that it states there what kind of coast it has, if it is muddy or sandy or it has gravel. Then we have here unsurveyed and rubble. So you can see here rubble. It is, the coastline isn't connected by a line. It's more like scattered rocks or dots. So that's the rubble. Then we'll go to the coast features. So the coast features, so these are abbreviations. So G is for Gulf, B bay, B bayou, FD fjord, F fjord, L for lock, lake. So it could be lock or lake. So some areas use lock, some areas use lake, depending on where you are. Then we have creek, we have the cove for sea, I for inlet, SDR for strait. So we have examples of straits such as Singapore Strait, SD sound, pass, passage or pass, thoroughfare, Chan channel, English channel, example for that, narrows, ENTR entrance, EST is not a state, it is estuary. Then we have the delta, MTH it is mouth, RD for road or road steed, ANCH anchorage, HBR meaning harbor, HN haven, P for port or P for pond, I island, IT islet, ARCH archipelago, PEN peninsula. Then we have C here for cape, then promontory, HD headland, PT point, MT mountain or mount, RGE range. Then we have the valley, summit, PK peak. VOL is not volume, it is volcano. Hill, we have BLD. So BLD, this is boulder, not a building. LDG landing, LN or it could be LNDG landing. Then we have here tableland, plateau, RKS. So it can either plural or singular, so that means rocks. We have our isolated rock, STR stream, R river. So most of the time rocks usually use RK or RKS. R river, slow, lagoon, APRS approaches. So I think this is mostly used on pilotage areas or when a vessel is going through the berth already, so approaches. Rocky, RKY, IS Islands, MA Marsh, MG Mangrove, and SW Swamp. So those are the different coast features. So these abbreviations you must understand so that when your vessel is near an island or will be berthing, you can avoid, or you can go to, you can avoid areas which is not suitable for your voyage, and you can understand um, channels or straits that you're going in, especially the STR and the narrow, the CHAN, the channel. So it's good that you will familiarize and understand these things so that it will be easy for you to make a passage plan, and so that you will be more knowledgeable when facing nautical charts. So see the land. So the land, these are the things that, the symbols or the abbreviations that we can see on nautical charts that are situated on land. So here, the first one, we have contour lines. So we all know that these things, these lines, these are contour lines, meaning they share the same the same elevation, or these contour lines are used in topography that much. So there. And in the second one, we have contour lines, but these are approximate. So if you can see broken lines, these are also contour lines, but these are approximate contours, meaning they are not that exact compared to the straight contour lines. Then we have here hachures. So unlike the contour lines, these are like straight vertical lines, a lot of straight vertical lines, and on land. Then here we have the nipa, or the palm. So this can be situated a lot in Asian countries, or Asian and tropical areas, and on the nautical charts. Then we have here casuarina. Then we have evergreen tree other than coniferous. So these are trees that you can see on a nautical chart. So it's very obvious when you look at it. Cultivated fields. So by the way, this evergreen tree, this is usually located on America, Europe, and a little part of Asia, since this biome is located on, this is a taiga biome. Then we have your grass and grass fields. These are also important, but we'll get to the most important parts later. So we have here the intermittent stream, a lake or a pond, the marsh. So definitely an area you must avoid because your vessel might aground. Then we have here a swamp. Then you have here rapid falls used by the INT, lakes, salt pans, the glacier. You can see here the glacier, lava flow. So you can see this is a volcano, then this is a lava flow. Woods in general, vegetation on land, wooded. Then this is wooded areas on Ekdis. Then this one's a rapid or a waterfall and water that you could visually see on the Ekdis and lake. Then, so again, these are the deciduous tree, evergreen tree, conifer, palm, nipa palm, casuarina, filau, eucalypt. This is evident in Australia, I believe. Mangrove, near the shore, marsh, swamp. So this is used by the INT, and the NOAA and the NGA use these kinds of symbols on their nautical charts, and the ECDIS uses this for all trees, vegetation line of trees, wooded area, mangrove with coastline or shoreline, so near the shore, near the sea. Then we have here supplementary national symbols depending on the country. So this is the uncovers or the unsurveyed coastline, appropriate sound datum, inadequately surveyed. So this one's a mud. It's a feature, mud feature. And we have breakers along shore, breakers. We went through that already. So that would be all for my report. I am the cadet Myrtle Ramses Look B, and to continue control points from section page D, E, F, G, H, I, it will be Decadet Mancao Glenn Lloyd and Decadet Liaban Reddy. Thank you for listening, and I hope you will be familiar with those symbols and abbreviations I have discussed, because these are integral in attaining a safe and efficient voyage, to understand hazards and the dangers that we must avoid, and to understand the advantages of aids to navigation that we can use on the nautical charts. So we must know these symbols and landmarks so that we could use them as a fix, so that we can know our position, and we could use the buoys as our aids to navigation and all of that. So continue to listen to the other reporters, as they will be thoroughly discussing and elaborating the other symbols and abbreviations in these sections A to I of the US chart number 1.
I am the Cadet Mancao Glenn Lloyd, and I'm going to continue the report of our group. So the next part is the part D, which are control points. Okay, so the first is this symbol, which is a triangle with a dot on the inside. So it is a triangulation point or station. And the 1A is astronomic station. Number 2 is a circle with a dot on the inside. This right here. This right here. This is a fixed point, a landmark position which is accurate. And the next is a smaller circle without a dot on the inside. So this is also a fixed point, but it is only approximate. So know the difference between the fixed point that is accurate and approximate. So the next is this number. So can you observe those numbers in the chart on the land part of the chart? Those are the summit of height, which are peak. So those are different numbers. This is measured in meters. So this is 256 meters. It's peak. So the next is also a peak, but it is accentuated by contours. So this, can you observe this right here? These are not imperfect circles that contains also several circles on the inside. So this could be also like this, different vertical lines surrounding a dot. This is also peak, accentuated by hachures. The next is peak, elevation not determined. So this is not surveyed, this is not examined, its height is not examined. And the next is peak, when a landmark. So see this right here, this is the same to the fixed point, but when it has a number, it is a peak and it is a landmark. So the next is this circle with a cross on the inside, this ob spot, which is observation spot. The next is an arrow up with an horizontal line perpendicular to the horizontal line, and circle BM. So this is benchmark. The next is view X, which is viewpoint. 7 is datum point for a grid of a plan, and the 8 is graphical triangulation point. The 9 is astro, which is astronomical. Number 10 is tri, which is triangulation. So triangulation is different from triangulation point. So the next is C of E, which is Corps of Engineers. So 12 is Great Trigonometrical Survey Station. 13 is Traverse Station. 14 is BDY-MON, or Boundary Monument. And the next is a diamond with a dot on the inside, which is an international boundary monument. So for the next part is the units. So part A is units. So number 1 is HR or H or hour. So I guess we already know this units because these are common. The next is M or MIN, which is minute. The next is sec or S, which is second. Fourth is M or meter. Next is DM or decimeter. cm is for centimeter, mm is for millimeter, m squared is for square meter, m3 is for cubic meter, km is for kilometer or kilometers, in or ins is for inches or inch, feet is for foot or feet, yd or yds is for yard or yards, fm or fms is for fathom, fathoms, cbl is for cable length. Next is mi or nmi or nm is nautical miles. Next is kn, which is knots. T is for ton, metric ton. cd is for candela. lat or lat is for latitude. Long is for longitude or Greenwich. pub or pub is for publication. ed is for edition. Corr is for correction. alt is for altitude. ht or elevation is for height or elevation. And then this degree, we already know this. This symbol right here is for minute, and this right here is for second. And then no is for number, mi is for statute mile, and this microsecond, this symbol right here is for microsecond. hz is for hertz, khz is for kilohertz, mhz is for megahertz, cps or cs is cycles per second, kc is for kilocycle, mc is for megacycle or mhz, t is for ton. So know the difference between the t, small letter t, which is for ton, metric ton equals 2,204.6 pounds, while the t, that is capital, it's ton, US short ton equals 2,000 pounds. Okay, for the next part, which is the part F, which are adjectives, adverbs, nouns, and other words. Okay, so to start, so number one, we have this GT, which is for great. LIT is for little. LRG is for large. SML is for small. 5 is outer, and then inner. Mid is for middle or old. 9 is for ANC, which is ancient. And then 10 is new. ST is for saint. Conspic is for conspicuous or remarkable. D or DSTR is for destroyed or projected. DIST is for distant. ABT is about. C chart, C plan. 19 is lighted luminous. 20 is for sub, which is submarine, eventual. 22 is for aero, is for aeronautical, could be higher or lower. 24 is for exper or experimental. 25 is discont or discontinued. 26 is prohib or prohibited. 27 is explos, which is explosive, followed by estab or established. Elec is electric. Priv is private or privately. Prom is prominent. STD is for standard. Sub-M is for submerged. Approx is for approximate, maritime. Main TD is for maintained. Aband is for abandoned. TEMP is for temporary. OCAS is for occasional. EXTR is for extreme. And 41 is navigable. NM is notice to mariners. LNM is local notice to mariners. And then sailing directions, list of flights. And unvert is for unverified. AUTH is for authorized. CL is for clearance. The next is core for corner. CR for concrete. FL for flood. Mod for moderate. Bet for between. First is first, followed by second, third, fourth. DW is for deep water. Min is minimum. Max is maximum. NLY is for northerly, followed by southerly, easterly, and westerly. SK is for stroke. RSTR is for restricted. BL is for blast. CFR is for Code of Federal Regulations. Colregs is international regulations for preventing collisions at sea. And IWW is for intracoastal waterway. Okay, so next is part G, which are ports and harbors. Okay, so first is this symbol. So we can easily determine this because this is an anchor, so which means an or anchorage for large vessels. On the other side, for the small vessels, this is the symbol, an anchor without a stockless anchor, or a half, it could also in half anchor, so anchorage for small vessels. HBR is for harbor, HN is for haven, P is for port, BKW is for breakwater. So can you see this symbol right here? With this contains several broken lines. This is breakwater. Next is for dike. This symbol right here, this is the dike. Next is mole. This right here. Next is jetty. This symbol right here. This is jetty, partly below MHW. Yeah, right here, jetty. The next is submerged jetty. So without this yellow part here is a submerged jetty. Next is jetty for small scale. This symbol right here. Next is for pier. Pier. So basically, this symbol, breakwater, is a pier with a broken line on its outside, outlined by a broken line, just like the mole. The next symbol is for spit. Here, this is a landform that contains this part here, broken, dotted lines. Next is fish, FSHSTKS, or fisheries or fishing stakes. This is the symbol here. It is a horizontal line which has several vertical lines perpendicular to it. This is like a comb. So this is fisheries or fishing stakes. The next is a fish trap, fish wires or actual shape charted. This is right here. This is a dotted lines forming a box and a horizontal line perpendicular to the shore. It could also be a duck blind. This could also be a tunny nets. This is just the same, tunny nets. And then OIS or oyster bed. So this is an oblong with a broken line. So this is an oyster bed. The next is LDG or LNDG, which is a landing place or watering place. The next is WHF or wharf. So this right here. This is a wharf or quay or berth. And then this is anchoring berth. Can you see this? The symbol right here is anchoring berth. The next is 3, which is the berth number. The next is dolphin. So this symbol right here, dolphin. So the next part is this. This is a groin, which is partly below MHW. This is the symbol. And then this is anchor. Prohibited. This is anchorage prohibited. So this symbols right here, which is in magenta, broken lines that has an anchor on the inside which has an X mark. That is anchorage prohibited. So it can easily be understood when you see this. And then the next is quarantine anchorage, which is outlined by magenta broken lines. So quar-anch. So anchorage reserve or quarantine anchorage. This is also another symbol for quarantine anchorage. So an anchor with a circle and a cross on the inside. So this right here, quarantine anchorage. Next is fish prohibited. So fishing prohibited. So this symbol can be easily understood because it has a fish sign with an X on it, an X mark. So meaning fishing prohibited. The next is spoil area, which is a spoil ground, dump site, dumping ground, and depths may be less than indicated. So this right here, this just contains its name, the dumping ground or spoil area. The next is disposal area, depths from survey of June 1972. So this is disposal area, dump site. Next is circle with a P on the inside, magenta colored, which is pump out facilities. Next is bollard. So this right here, this is the symbol of a bollard. This can be seen usually on the pier. Next is fixed single point mooring structure. So SPM, this right here. And then this symbol right here, circle with a horizontal line coming from the inside to the right side, is mooring ring or crane, landing stage or landing stairs. And then next is quar or quarantine. So a rectangle with a circle that has a cross on the inside. Quarantine, just like the symbol for a medicine kit. The next is for harbor master's office. So a circle with an anchor on the inside. So HBRMR, harbor master. The next is custom house. So a circle with two horizontal lines on the inside forming a rectangle. Then fishing harbor, winter harbor, refuge harbor, boat harbor, stranding harbor. So this is it. BHBR. This is the symbol. This is the symbol that you can see in the chart. Next is a dock. So this right here. This is a dock. Next is a dry dock, which has, this is water part, and this is also the water part in here. That is a dry dock, this symbol. Next is a floating dock, this right here. Floating dock. Next is gridiron or careening grid. Okay, so next is this patent slipway or slipway marine railway. This is its symbol. Next is for ramp. This is the symbol of the ramp. Next is a lock, point upstream or wet dock or shipyard or lumber yard. Next is the health office. So health office is a rectangle with a circle and a cross on the inside. So health officer's office. The next is for Hulk, actual shape on large scale charge. So on a large scale sharps, this contains the actual shape, like the meters and etc. So HK, this right here, HK. And then the prohibited area. So this can be easily seen on the chart, and you can easily understood what that means. Prohibited area, meaning you can go on that area. The next is calling in point for vessel traffic control. So a circle with a triangle and with a number on the inside. The next is anchorage for seaplanes. So this is the symbol, anchorage for seaplanes. Next is seaplane landing area, and then next is an under construction or work in progress under construction. So you can easily understood this. This right here, under construction. And then the next is scrubbed submerged ruins, sub-M ruins, like this. The next is dump site, which is basically the name on the inside. I think that will be all for my part. Thank you.
Javan, and I am here to discuss about the nautical chart symbols for topography. So this first symbol is its abbreviation is road or highway. The second is this symbol is that has 20, 50, and 95 has the abbreviation of highway markers. And then this dotted line is for track, footpath, or trawl. The next is for the railway. This may be single or double track or a railroad. So the next is this abbreviation is for HB or the abandoned railroad. The next is the tramway. This line with dashes on the middle. Next is for the rail station that has a black dash on top of it. Next is this symbol is for the cutting. The next is causeway, and the other one here that has a river and like a continuous line is for the overhead power cable. The next is the power transmission. The next is the prominent telegraphy or the telephone line. Next is the viaduct and the pipeline. So next is This symbol, the 3C, is for tunnel or railroad or road. Next is the embankment. These pictures on the right side is called the pile or piling or post, while the other one is for the highway. The next for topography is this. This first symbol is for the sewer or culvert. This next symbol with the canal and ditch is for canal, ditch, lock, or sluice. Next is the bridge in general, or BR. Its abbreviation is BR. The next is the bridge under construction. As you see, the difference between the bridge and the bridge under construction is the line, the continuous line and the broken line. Next is the stone concrete bridge, wooden bridge, iron bridge, suspension bridge. These pictures on the right side is the pontoon bridge. Next is the footbridge. As you can see, the line is so thin, not like the other here in the bridge that the line is thick. Next here is the bridge clearance or the vertical. How high is the clearance for the bridge? Next is the bridge clearance horizontal. Next is for the ferry, and its abbreviation is FY. Next is the cable ferry. So next is the drawbridge, or in general drawbridge, or the swing bridge. Next is the lift bridge. Lower on it is the way bridge or the bicycle bridge. On the right side is the dam. Next is the fence or training wall. And then the last picture is for the log boom. So next we'll be discussing about the buildings and structures. So the first picture here is the city or town, large scale, and the small scale. Next is the height of a structure, suburb, or in the village. Next is the buildings in general. Next, castle. The lower one is the house. And this last picture in the left side is composed of different kinds of symbols, like for the villa, farm, church, cathedral, spire or steeple, Roman Catholic Church. So let's go on the right side of the picture. The first symbol there is for the airport or military, small scale, and then the airport for civil is for the small scale. Next is the mooring mast. This had double straight line for the street, and its abbreviation is ST. Next is the avenue, which is its abbreviation is AVE. Next is the boulevard, which is its abbreviation is BLVD. Next is the telegraph, abbreviation is TEL. TL off is for telegraph office. Post office is PRO. Government house is GovHO. Next for the town hall, hospital, slaughterhouse, magazine, warehouse, and then the monument, cupola, and elevator. So next is for the temple, which has the cross and a box. Next is the cross alone is for the chapel. The triangular shape is for the mosque. Next is the minaret. Next symbol is the Muslim shrine. The next is marabout, and then the next is pagoda, which its abbreviation is PAG. Next is the Buddhist house temple, Shinto shrine. Next is the monastery or Calvary cross. Next is the cemetery, non-Christian, and the other one is the cemetery Christian. Next is this house like that has a cross symbol is for the tomb. Next is the fourth actual shape of the chartered. Next is the elevation or elevated shed, and its abbreviation is ELEV or ELEV. Next is the zinc roof. Next is the ruins. Next symbol is tower, which is abbreviated as TR. Next is the abandoned lighthouse. The next symbol is for the windmill, and the next is the 4-water mill, wind motor. Next is the chimney stack. Next is the water tower and standpipe. This circle with a dash is for the oil tank, gas holder, and gastometer. Next is the factory, which is abbreviated as FACTY, facty. Next is the sawmill, brick kiln, mine. The next is the mine or quarry, which has the symbol of 2 hammers across. Next is the cistern, and the last is the tank. Next is this one is for the school, which is abbreviation of SCH. Next is for the high school, which has HS. The university is UNIV, and the building, the pavilion, is abbreviated as PAV. The next is a hut, stadium, and telephone. So on the left side is for the pyramid and pillar, and this pentagon-like shape is for the oil derrick, and the limited is abbreviated as LTD. Apartment is abbreviated as APT. Capital is abbreviated as CAP. Company is abbreviated as CO. The corporation is abbreviated as Corp. Next is the landmark with the circle and a dot in the middle. And landmark on position approximate is a small circle. This candle-like symbol is for the flare stack, which is on land. And that's all for the group 7 that discussed about the nautical chart symbols. Thank you.